Okay, so before we dive into actually doing the demo, I've created some resources that we will be using for the demo. So I created a resource group that will hold all of the servers and databases that we're going to be using for this demo. This is a server that will host the Elastic Jobs agent, right? So database, which that database will then host the Elastic Jobs agent. So created a server and a database that will host the Elastic Jobs agent, but I haven't created the agent yet. And then I created two other servers, Elastic Jobs Target 1 and Elastic Jobs Target 2. Target 1 has two databases on it that we will target to run our Elastic Jobs against. And the Target 2 server has one database that we plan to run against our jobs against and one that we want to exclude. So I'll show you how to exclude a database from a server when we get to that. Okay. So what I have here is just a simple T-SQL that just says basically how to, our job is just going to simply create a table called T. That's it. It's going to be a simple table. To make it idempotent, I have done this if not exists select part. And that way, if we run this again and again, we won't fail because the table already exists. We will just create the table when it doesn't already exist. Okay, so we know what our job is going to do, and we have targets for the job. So the next thing we need to do is we're going to do this in PowerShell. So let's open up our Cloud Shell. We already have a database created to host our Elastic Jobs agent. And so the first step is to bind that database to a variable. And then once that's bound, we can then use that database as the target of creating our Elastic Job agent. And I've named it PS Demo Agent, which is basically the PowerShell agent for this demo. That takes a bit. So my next step is to create credentials. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to just do that off video or whatever. Okay, great. So here we have our Elastic Jobs agent. Job agent has been created. And here we are. We've got our resource group, our server name, our database name, our agent, and it is ready to go. Cool. The next step is to create credentials, which I'm going to do off screen. So I'll go create those credentials, and then we'll come back and add our target groups and create the job. So now I've created the credentials and I have them created, and so I'm now going to create a target group. So I take the job agent and I create a new target group with the name PowerShell Demo Group. Awesome. Now the next thing I want to do is to bind that group to a variable, which is pretty straightforward. Target group is now bound, and then I can use that to add the servers that I want. Now, I can add the server, keeping in mind that this credential and username already exist on the target server. So here we are. We got that working. We've got that refresh credential added, and that the server name added to our group. Now we go on, and we're going to do the same exact thing for the second server that I created, Elastic Jobs Target 2. Let me pull up the command here. Awesome. And then we need to actually exclude. There was one database we were going to exclude from that second server. So we issue this command, which calls out that same server, but the database that we want to exclude, and exclude it. Cool. So now we've created a target group. PS demo group, and it exists on our job agent. So now we need to create a job. So let's go back to our job agent and create a new Sql Elastic Job, and we're going to name it PS Demo because it's a PowerShell demo. That job is going to need some SQL text, and we talked about what that SQL text would be at the beginning. So we're just going to bind it here. Should look pretty familiar. And then we add a single job step to the job. We're going to call it step 1. The job will have only one step. It will use our job credential, and the text will be SQL text 1. I do need to fix the name of this, however, to be PS demo group. Awesome. And now we've created a job that has one step. It's on this group. It's using a job credential, and this is the text. Great. So there you have it. We have used PowerShell to create an Elastic Jobs agent. We have created the agent, we created the credentials off screen, and then we created the target group and the jobs.